this is it's the live is playing. Sometimes it doesn't do that. Stream 23 seconds. Hmm. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm streaming. Okay, so I was told that this is something I should stream. I I've never played this before, and for some reason I've never watched anybody play this before too. So we'll see. Okay, let's see. No. Really? But I want it to be visible. No. The It's 8:41, I guess. Wait, do I have to? Wait, no. Fine, I know. Hold on. Yeah, technically it's 8:42 now. Okay, I have no idea what this is about. Hold on, just fix my window. Is this an office game? Because I work in an office. It's not fun to work. I mean, to play in an office. Let's see if we can do anything from here. Do I need to do anything now? The end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
I don't know. That sounds. That
And
does
then one
sound so
day,
weird.
something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh. Should I do that? Hold on, let me make sure that the audio is working. Hold on. Hello? Is before 2. Hello? So we'll see. Okay, let's see. Oh, I guess it is working, right? Audio is working. Yeah, it's working. Okay, should be okay. So I'm standing up and well, can I just sit here and I mean, I'm getting paid for this, right? I'll just sit here until the day's over. Fine, okay, let's go out of the office. I hate Mondays. I know what your problem is, dude. Do you know how much thinking I have to do for my work? Can I do anything? What am I doing? What? Crouch. Okay, whatever. 428, 429. What is that clock sound? Bro, okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What? Where's the meeting room? Yeah, maybe it's holiday today. It could happen, but then the office should be closed. What is that? What is that? Can I pick that up? No? I can't see it.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
You know, I think I've watched a movie where somebody was narrating something about his death. He's like, the fuck? I wonder if Stanley could hear this right now. Yeah, we're not going to the meeting room yet. We're gonna sneak on everybody's computers. I want to read what the papers are. Like, what kind of job is this? Can't see. Interview. I can't. No, I can't. I like work. I just hate my boss. What if, like, I don't like my work and I also hate my boss? Alright. Where are we at? So, it's, like... the windows are fake, obviously. Can I do anything? Like, what does X do? Okay, I'm not sure if I'm lost or... Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm lost. Who am I again? I'm 4-2 something. Did I go back around? Sir, username access. I don't know if I have to memorize anything because I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. I just can't read anything. Who farted? These cups are fun. It's 11:20. Didn't I say it's 8? Okay, whatever. I hate Mondays. I do hate Mondays. Tomorrow is Monday. Which sucks. I don't know if I'm just going in circles. All of this looks the same. Sales this quarter. This does not make sense. What is that? What are they saying? Can't read it. Wait, how come they have actual sales and my job is to press a button for how many seconds?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, are you... Now I don't want to go to the left. Well, I mean, because I know that goes to the main story, so I'm going... Wait, but what if you're actually telling me to go to the left? Narrator, hey! Well then, go to the left.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
I'm
well.
sorry.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay. Listen, I'm trying not to trigger the main story, but I guess it's trying to test if I'm gonna listen to it. Okay, let's go to the employee lunch first then. I hope I'm not going in circles. I do not remember shit. Okay, employee lunch.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Okay. Like, I'm concerned if it's gonna keep giving me instructions.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Shut the fuck up. 11:20.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Excuse you. Wait, so if I stay longer, you're gonna keep scolding me then?
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Are you trying to send me a message? I have no idea. Like, listen, I'm just trying to see if I can pick up things. Coffee mug. Okay. Paintings. I refuse to believe that everybody left because Stanley looks around and yeah, the time's not moving too, so I guess I have no time limit. It's just the narrator's just pissed off that I'm not trying to piss you off. I'm just fuel. I just didn't want to trigger the main story.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room.
No, I haven't.
The first open door on his left to get back to business.
Okay. This is not horror, is it? Okay, I think it's I think this is a funny game. This looks creepy and that looks like it leads somewhere. Let me see. Oh, it's two different areas. Okay, let's go here first. First open door.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
But there's something there though. No, I don't wanna. Oh. Okay.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Oh, really? Am I lost? Is it left?
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Love.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay. Car here.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
What? What happened? You know, I don't actually know what happened. So they're observing us? Some companies actually do that, right? Oh, it's not like a test then, I guess. No idea what happened. Okay, that's kind of odd, but okay. Hold on. Alright, okay, let's not veer off
All of his
track.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where is the meeting room? Okay, you know what? I'll go to the meeting room, sure.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, Did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
No.
Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Okay, I want to go here. That's the same anyway. The fuck are you talking about? Oh, interesting. Now let's go like right. I'm gonna keep going right and possibly go in a circle.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
What? Oh. Hey! Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Just take me to the meeting room.
Okay, yep, it's worse.
Yeah.
I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. Yeah, the windows don't see anything. Alright, otherwise, like, why 427 then? Wait, I don't think we missed anything. Like, this is the only direction to go. Oh, okay.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something.
What did we
The
miss?
story. Here it comes.
Well, I don't know. This looks different. Isn't this where my...
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Bro! What is going on?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story?
I don't
I
know.
don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
I think so.
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
No. Oh. Come on. Just let us go into... Okay. Adventure life. Okay.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Do you think anything changed from here? Number 1 dad. Maybe they are changing. Although I was trying to. I think there were more papers on the floor. No, maybe I'm just imagining it. What if I don't follow the line? Are you gonna get mad at me? I kinda don't want to follow the line though.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Oh, I see. Alright, let's follow the line. No, I'm done. Oh, somebody's playing solitaire.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
To
Nope.
destiny.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there?
Yeah.
Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
Yes.
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
I told you to
Now,
keep
if my
moving
experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Wait, why? It's 11:00. Oh, it's been 5 minutes. This is the line is glitching, sir. What's that?
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
What friend? This friend?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
We're talking about the same fern? This fern? This fern? Okay, I don't know what you're saying. It's a fern. It's a freaking fern.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
This one's locked. Oh, okay. That's the starting point. Alright. Okay. Hey, this is bad because I'm Oh, I'm hearing it.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
What am I, 427? Hey! Yeah, I'm 427. So what do you just watch if I actually follow whatever you tell me?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something
just let me go.
exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Is there no choice? Okay.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I don't think there's an end to this, though. Oh, there is.
Oh, no, not you again.
The line.
Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
I don't know. Now I want to follow it. Follow the yellow line. Where does it go? Up. Now it's gone.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with that counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay.
Oh, hold up, what's this?
End up in another building. There you
The
go. Oh,
confusion
hey!
ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game
Stanley
eight
dies?
times?
Hey, why do I
How
die?
all this goes? It's all determined?
By the book start.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this?
I don't want to die.
Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Okay.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh. Wait, I don't... The ending of that is that I die. Or Stanley dies.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Did you forget?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Narrator! Oh, shit.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
That's creepy. Maybe the only way out of here is for you to die, Stanley. Oh, this sucks. I didn't take a picture of the endings, but
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
okay, I'm gonna go left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, but Stanley, you die. Should we keep following it? You most of all. No. Things. More money. Things, but with money to buy more things. Okay. Oh.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, but you're following the story again. Let's go down. Then following the... I forgot if I was like, if it already predicted it, I was
But
not
Stanley just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange.
Oh.
This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
No.
It was so much fun,
No.
and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How
No,
was he
this is part
remaining
of
so
the
lucid?
script.
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
But I'm going in
Believing that
circles
if
now.
he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Yeah.
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself
no.
to wake up.
No!
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin. the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job.
You can't jump.
Let me continue pushing the buttons.
What
Please.
does it say?
It's all I want.
Okay.
I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
There's something there. Oh, I've been walking on the door. Oh.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
No. Okay, 5.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And
But
although
it's just
she
the
would
fifth
soon turn
reset.
to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What? Did you call somebody? So, Stanley died, right? Did it not end yet? Okay, I have no idea. Am I Stanley again?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh. Maybe we should just like follow it exactly like it said.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Alright, let's go.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh. Wait. I would, but I'm following orders now. Cause Stanley, I got Stanley killed. Hold on. What? Open. Oh.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Oh.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. Oh. Should I? Maybe we should escape. We're gonna escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, but of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
No, you know
Nope,
what?
still on board with death?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go die then. That's funny.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Oh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay. That.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh. Really? Stanley's computer. Office layout. From the beginning of the game, the part from Stanley's office to the development to the car. Oh. Okay. Filing cabinets. Sure. The two doors. Once the system is created, the rest of the game emerges an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. The office. Okay. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used through the games when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Okay. Ah. I can hear them. Office computers. Installing Chart Pro. Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Employee database. Oh, man. Credits. Oh, there's credits. Okay. 431, 436. Where do I go next? I thought I was trying to escape. Oh, but Stanley's dead, isn't he? Office clock. So did it matter that I had entered that time? Boss's office. Screens from the development of the boss's office. Okay. Is there a difference? The lounge. Mind control facility. Oh, I didn't. An early version of the underground portion of the game. I didn't go there.
I still don't know about... They're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you?
Recorded roughly 3 separate times over 2 years development.
Stanley walked through the green door.
Stanley walked through the green door?
Stanley jumped in.
Is this just the credit scene? I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of freedom ending in the game's alpha. Freedom ending. What ending do I have then? I wonder. Zending. Early version of the ending known as Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. What is Zending? Zending levers. Okay. Begin the game again. Resume the game. Zending model. Okay. That's pretty awesome. I think so. Escape menu. Only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. This was what they were supposed to do, which is frustrating forever. Okay. Okay. What? Oh, really? Okay. Fascinating. I'm not sure if this is spoiling me or something. A freedom ending. It's fascinating, isn't it? Countdown room. What is the countdown room? Okay. That's the exit. We'll go there later. Okay. So, all this is really fascinating to me. Stanley's office. It's like a museum. An earlier version of the lounge. I like the lounge. The office. Oh, really? Huh. What endings are these? Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Ah, okay. I feel like this is all spoiling me. Yeah, to be honest, it's probably all spoiling me. Meeting room. Or maybe this is lying to me. I don't know. First choice, first choice. Obey, disobey. One option. Doorway to maintenance. So I disobeyed. I went to the lounge. depending on how you enter. To confusion ending. I think that's what I did, right? The confusion ending. Okay. Dear Strong Ben. Selection of those. What do the lights in the control room do? That looks like a scam. Okay. Final warning. Capybaras. Oh, should. '41 to '46. The office. Okay, and there's an exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Well, I mean, what else is there to do?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Like, turn off the game? I don't want to turn off the game. So I guess I died. What ending was that, I wonder? So like, there's a lot more endings, but I'm not sure how to accomplish them.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. I don't think I can repeat an ending, right? I think maybe.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
let's
he
go to
entered the door on his left.
The mind control place.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, let's go to the boss's office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845. Okay.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
So, if I go up, what happens? No, let's go to the mind control place first.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
What?
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
So, you're not doing anything here anyway. Oh, okay. What?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
But I thought she was in the office though. Like, don't you have a wife or something?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
How the fuck do you expect to do that? We can't dismantle this. Yeah, how do you want to dismantle this? 5? Where's 3? Oh. But I pressed 1 and 2. Ugh. I can't even open this. Okay, no idea what this is. I'm starting to get really dizzy. Okay, no idea what's going on. That one is 5. It seems like a trap.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, He knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Really?
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Wait,
it was
what?
Perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Where is he locked?
This was
in the
exactly the
office
way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
then? I thought he's got a wife and
And
everything.
Stanley was happy.
Okay. Oh. What? Okay. Yeah, alright. There are a lot more things I feel with this one. That is so wild. Okay. I'm pretty sure I went to the credits scene too, so I'm supposed to have an apartment scene too, so how does that work? Okay. Well, I'll figure out on the next game.